Welcome to Cheater Confessions. Let's get started with today's story. It started on a Tuesday evening. I remember that because Tuesdays were usually quiet. Tammy came home from work, tossed her purse on the counter, and said, "Can we talk for a sec?" She sat down on the edge of the couch. I knew that posture. I'd seen it once before when her mom was in the hospital. Serious, nervous. I turned off the TV and sat across from her. "What's up?" She took a breath like she was preparing for a speech, not a conversation. "I've been doing a lot of thinking lately," she began. "About me, my life, where I'm at." I didn't say anything, just waited. She continued, "I feel like I've been kind of stuck. Like, I don't know who I am outside of us. I need space, Roger. I need time to figure myself out." I stayed still. She kept talking. "I think we should take a break. Maybe just be friends for a while. It's not you, I swear, it's just, I need room to grow." There it was. Clean, practiced, polite. I could have asked her if she was seeing someone else. I could have argued. But I didn't. I'd seen this play before. Maybe not with her, but with other people. When someone says they need space, they've already taken it. The decision was made long before the words hit the air. I just nodded once. "Sure." Tammy blinked. "That's it? That's what you want, right?" She looked thrown off. "I mean, yeah. I didn't think you'd be so okay with it." "I'm not okay with it. I'm just not going to beg." She looked down at her hands. "I'll stay at Paige's for a few days. Give us both some breathing room." "Take whatever you need," I said. "Text me first if you're coming back." She gave me a weird, half-hearted smile, then walked into the bedroom to pack a bag. When the door shut behind her, the apartment felt silent in a way it hadn't in years. Not sad, just silent. And in that silence, I got up, grabbed my laptop, and started making a list. I'm not the kind of guy who reacts fast and loud. I think in steps. If Tammy wanted space, I was going to give her the full layout. No overlap, no blurred lines. First thing on the list was shared accounts, which were all under my name. I logged in one by one, changed the passwords, removed her profiles, and shut off unnecessary renewals. Next, the car. About a year and a half ago, Tammy's old Corolla finally died for good. I'd just gotten a raise and upgraded to a new SUV. She started driving it more than I did, commuting, errands, late-night gym sessions. I worked from home. She practically claimed it. But it was mine. Title, insurance, payments, all in my name. I texted her, keeping it direct. "Hey, since we're taking space and figuring things out as friends, I'll need the car back this week. Insurance won't cover non-resident primary drivers. Let me know when to pick up the keys." No response. Left on red. I didn't take it personally. People don't reply fast when they're realizing their support systems are shifting, or when they're hoping you'll quietly wait around like an unpaid backup plan. Next was the apartment. We moved in together 3 years ago, but the lease was always under my name. I covered the rent. She pitched in for groceries, utilities sometimes, but it was my name on the dotted line. I didn't rush to change the locks. Not yet. I figured I'd give her a clean exit. Let her get her stuff like an adult. If she didn't, then I'd do what needed to be done. It was about structure. She wanted space. I was giving it to her. No shortcuts, no access passes. And something told me she wasn't expecting any of it. It was Friday afternoon, around 4. I was making coffee when the knock came. Fast, sharp, like someone angry or panicked. I looked through the peephole. Tammy. She looked like she'd sprinted over. Hair pulled back, messy, cheeks flushed. She knocked again, harder this time. I opened the door, leaned on the frame. "Hey! What the hell, Roger?" she snapped. No hello. I kept my tone steady. "What's wrong?" "You removed my access from shared accounts? And you sent me some text about the car?" "Yeah," I said. "You said we're friends now. Friends don't share subscriptions or cars." Her face tightened. "I said I needed space. I didn't say blow up our entire life." "I didn't blow it up, Tammy. You ended it. I just responded accordingly." "I didn't say it was over. I just wanted time. You're being dramatic." "No," I said. "I'm just done financing your freedom." She scoffed and threw her hands up. "You're acting exactly like Trent said you would." That stopped me. The name hit like a thrown stone. Trent, the so-called gym buddy. The guy whose name had started showing up in her casual stories more often than made sense. Late-night workouts. Once, I caught a glimpse of her phone lighting up with his name at midnight. She said it was nothing. I believed her. Or maybe I wanted to. Now she'd said the quiet part out loud. Her face changed immediately. "That's not what I meant." "Trent?" I asked, calm but direct. She folded her arms. "He's just a friend. He's been really supportive lately." "Supportive of what?" I asked. "Your decision to leave me and still keep the car? The accounts? That kind of support?" "You're twisting this," she snapped. "No," I said, voice low. "You decided to try out something new while keeping me as a fallback." That's when it clicked. Trent had been in her ear for weeks, feeding her stories, building a narrative where I was the bad guy, possessive, controlling. And Tammy? She wanted the excitement of a new connection, the rush of possibility, without giving up the convenience of stability. The plan wasn't messy, it was calculated. She just didn't expect me to respond like this. She scoffed. "This is insane. I need the car tomorrow." "It's not your car. It's mine. Your name isn't anywhere on it. I'm liable if anything happens." She crossed her arms. "Then you can come get it. I'm not dropping it off." "I'll do that," I said, still calm. "In fact, I'll make sure I bring a backup plan in case the keys aren't ready." She rolled her eyes and walked off, muttering something under her breath. I closed the door behind her and checked the app on my phone. The car was parked 2 blocks down. All I had to do now was wait. I waited until just after dark. The street was quiet. I slipped on my jacket, phone in hand, and walked down the block. The car sat right where the app said, gym bag tossed in the back seat. Tammy wasn't around, but her sister Paige's apartment was just down the street. I stood on the sidewalk, tapped into the car's app, and hit lock all doors. Then I triggered the alarm. The horn started blaring, headlights flashing. Tammy came running out of Paige's building 30 seconds later. "What are you doing?" she yelled over the noise. I didn't shout back, just held up my phone and turned the alarm off. "Seriously?" she hissed. "You couldn't wait a day." "I sent you a text 2 days ago." "You're acting crazy." "No," I said. "I'm taking back my property before someone else drives off in it." "It's just a car, Roger." "To you, maybe. To the bank and the insurance company, it's mine. And until my name's on it, you don't get to use it." She clenched her jaw. "You're punishing me. This is your ego talking." "If I were punishing you," I said, "I wouldn't have texted first. I wouldn't have turned off the alarm. I'd have already reported it stolen." She looked stunned. I held out my hand. "Keys." She stood there for a second, debating whether to fight or fold. Then she pulled out the key fob and slapped it into my palm. "I hope Trent was worth it," I said, stepping back toward the sidewalk. "You don't know anything," she snapped. I didn't reply. Back at the apartment, I closed the door, double-locked it, and made a new list. First item was to change the locks. Second, buy a security cam. Something told me I hadn't seen the worst of it yet. The locks were changed by Sunday. Once the deadbolt clicked into place, I felt it. Not closure, not relief, just a buffer. A wall between what used to be and what came next. I installed a small camera above the door that evening. No wires, no light, just quiet protection. Monday morning, I was halfway through a meeting when I got a ping from our IT team. Subject line, "Follow up on external complaint." I usually worked remotely most days, but I still went into the office once or twice a week for meetings and client calls. And now HR had received an anonymous email over the weekend, claiming I was emotionally unstable, aggressive, and had recently threatened my former partner. The language was clinical, rehearsed, just vague enough to trigger a policy review. My heart rate didn't spike. I knew exactly who sent it. I got pulled into a conference room with Melissa from HR and my manager, Jonathan. She opened her laptop and turned it toward me. "We're obligated to discuss this," she said, "even if the source is unverified." I read the message. It painted me as volatile and dangerous, mentioned an incident with a vehicle, and patterns of control. When I finished, I leaned back in my chair and laid it all out clearly. This was retaliation, plain and simple. My ex had ended things just a week ago. I had responded by removing her from shared accounts and taking back my car. Every action I took was backed by facts, not emotion. Melissa asked if I had proof. I nodded and pulled out my phone. I showed them the full message thread with Tammy, time-stamped text requesting the car back, screenshots of the app logs, and subscription changes. Jonathan, my manager, had been quiet up until that point. Then he leaned forward and vouched for me. making it clear that the version of me described in the anonymous email didn't match the employee he had worked with for 6 years. Melissa took it all in professionally. She thanked me, said they'd keep a record of the incident, but based on the evidence and my history, there was no reason to escalate it further. The matter was considered closed. I left the office calm. But that night, when the security cam sent a motion alert at 12:13 a.m., I felt it in my chest. I tapped the app and watched. Tammy, on my doorstep, key in hand, trying to come back in. The video was clear. Tammy stood at my door in a hoodie and running shoes, glancing around like she was trying not to be seen. She pulled out an old key from her pocket and slid it into the lock. It didn't turn. She tried again. No luck. She jiggled the handle once, then just stood there, staring at the door. After a full minute, she turned and walked away without a sound. I didn't move, just watched the clip. Then I saved it in 3 different folders, one local, one cloud, one backup. I didn't confront her. I didn't call, but I did forward the clip to someone I knew would matter. Paige, her sister. Thought you should see this. I believe she's been staying with you. 2 hours later, Paige replied. What the hell? I had no idea she tried this. I thought you were the one being cold. She told me you locked her out without warning. I didn't reply. Nothing else to say. The next morning, I got a call from a number I hadn't seen in a while. Gordon, Tammy's dad. Straightforward guy. Worked construction for decades. The kind of man who asked simple questions and expected real answers. Roger, I'd like to talk. In person. Can I swing by tonight? I'll bring Karen. Yeah, I'll be here. I knew what this was. Tammy had told them one story. Now Paige had shown them another. At 7:12 p.m., they knocked. Tammy's mother, Karen, looked tired. Gordon looked like a man who'd been holding in questions for days. Karen spoke first. We just want to understand what's going on. Tammy says one thing. Paige says another. I'll show you, I said. I opened my laptop, cued the footage, and hit play. The room went dead silent. When the video ended, Karen was staring at the screen like it might play again. Gordon's jaw was set. He didn't speak for a full 10 seconds. She said you threw her out without warning, he finally muttered. I nodded. She said she needed space and wanted to be friends. I gave her what she asked for. She told us it was just a small fight, Karen said quietly, that she was staying with Paige for a few days to let things cool off. I opened a folder and pulled up the text thread, the message about the car, the cancellation confirmations for the subscriptions, the timestamps. I showed them the HR incident next, the fake report. I didn't even have to name names. Gordon looked disappointed. She's our daughter, Karen said, voice trembling. But we don't condone this kind of thing. We raised her better than this. I figured. He stood. I need to call her. Put it on speaker, I said. He didn't hesitate. Hi, Dad, Tammy answered. Tammy, your mother and I are at Roger's. He's shown us everything. The video, the texts, the HR complaint. You want to explain why you tried using your old key on his door at midnight? Silence. Then, Dad, no, it's not what it looked like. I was just making sure he was okay. I didn't even go inside. You didn't belong there at all, Gordon said, calm but cutting. And you lied. About all of it. Her voice cracked. He's making me look bad. He stole the car. He locked me out. We're done, Tammy, he said. And with that, he ended the call. Gordon looked at me and nodded once. We're sorry. For all of it. Tammy didn't show up in person. She sent a moving crew instead. I let them in, pointed at the boxes she'd left in the closet, the dresser in the spare room, and a few framed prints on the wall. No yelling, no scene. 30 minutes later, they were gone. Then I blocked Tammy. I deleted the camera footage but kept the HR email archived, not out of spite, but to remind myself that trusting your gut isn't paranoia. It's preparation. The apartment's quiet again now, not empty, just still. It doesn't feel cold. It feels like mine. I sit in the same spot on the couch where she told me she needed space, and I realize she got exactly that, just not the version she imagined. People think power comes from control. It doesn't. It comes from letting go, completely, surgically, without regret. Tammy wanted freedom, so I gave her the full version, and I kept mine. Thank you for watching.